Greetings all, it is Gleekon, once again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. We are now entering 2 years before the Dark Portal. Stay a while and listen to this one. It's called The Broken. This is our last year that we're going to cover before we switch over to rejoining our paths. We spent the first 3 chapters of this book, really half of Chronicles 2, catching us up on the lore of Draenor, which that's a lot of time to be devoted to just one part of the world, when we got a whole book for the history of Azeroth. Also, this is important because the Broken are yet another one of these races that we need to that play an integral role, and now we're going to find out where they come from. So here we go. Oshundune's destruction signaled the death knell of the Draenei on Draenor. Though Velen and some of his people had survived, their culture was no more. They were refugees once again, but this time they were trapped on a dying world filled with the Burning Legion's agents. Velen ordered his artificers to reinforce Tel'Rador's defenses. The Draenei smiths constructed a network of arcanite crystals that shrouded the temple's presence from the Horde. So good, they're hidden. And that also brings out that idea of the arcanite crystals. We have that all throughout the Burning Legion expansion. Even they bring some over to Kalimdor. Yeah, I think it is Kalimdor. It is, but it's Azeroth in general. As the months passed, Vindicator Maraud and other Draenei survivors trickled into Tel'Rador. They spoke little of the horrors they had witnessed at Shattrath. They would carry those memories with them in silence, their hearts and minds scarred forever. Other survivors were burdened by more than just mental scars. Vindicators Akama and Nobundo were among the unfortunate Draenei who had succumbed to the Horde's red pox. So that's how they become broken. It's that red pox. The vile concoction had twisted their bodies, causing them to become smaller and shriveled. These cursed Draenei even found that their connection to the holy light had been severed. The Krokul, or broken as some of these individuals were called, were not welcomed by the rest of their race. Tel'Rador's populace feared that the mutants would spread their affliction to healthy Draenei. Despite calls by Velen and Maraud to accept the broken, they were eventually driven from the refuge. And that is a central storyline that's explored in the Burning Crusade, the outcome of that. It is going to lead to some of them turning against the Draenei, but it also means that all these other little half races, like these hybrid races, the Mok Nathal, people like Gorona, they're just there, and I'm curious to see what comes of that. Akama, Nobundo, and other Broken struck out into the wilds to fend for themselves. The red mist affected some of them in different ways. The unluckiest of the Broken degraded into creatures called the Lost Ones. They became even more physically deformed, and they gradually lost their grip on sanity. This was the eventual fate that awaited every Broken. All that the mutants could do was hope to find some means to cure themselves or slow their degeneration. Well, that's terrible. And you do fight a lot of the Lost Ones. They are definitely evil, but you do also engage with a lot of the Broken. I think they bring some Broken back in. The Draenei begin to accept some of them. Other Draenei survivors would found enclaves across Draenor, just like they had outposts before. Velen would later travel among these different safe havens, both to prevent himself from being captured by the Horde and to help his people however he could. Despite his efforts, the Draenei would live in constant fear of tomorrow. They never knew when the Horde might uncover their hideaways. Tel'Rador would remain the largest and most important of these cities. As time passed and fell energy continued killing the world, the sea around the island would dry up and form a swampy mire called Zangarmarsh. So there we go. I wasn't sure if they were going to leave that to the Nagas, but we have yet another region on our map. Official. The Zangar Sea is now officially the Zangarmarsh. We also have the establishment of the way things are for Draenor. Everything except Shattrath. We don't have that in place. But things are really shaping up. The Grand, you could argue, is about where it is. So we do still have Bladespire, and we need to see why this realm is ripped up into space. And maybe that happens with the opening of the Dark Portal. Either way, we'll find out on one of these next episodes of Lore of Warcraft. This one is in the pipes 5x5. Thank you for listening.